What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Happy Halloween. Kind of fitting the day after a monumental Jets loss, but I'm really frustrated, man. Usually on social media, I do my best to answer everybody that direct messages me and on the comments on the videos and tweets and all these different things. And today I'm just really frustrated. I'm annoyed. I'm bothered. And I guess that comes when you lose probably one of the biggest games since 2015. I mean, the fan base as a whole was completely fired up. Social media was ablaze. The stadium was rocking, all these things. And then it's a letdown. It's just, you walk away bitter. You walk away angry. For those that went to the game, I'm sure you're just ridiculously pissed off that you wasted all your time, energy, and money going to the stadium. I mean, it's a long day going there, and to leave like losing to the Patriots again for the 13th time, to sit in traffic, and then to have all the what ifs and could has and should has. It's annoying, it's frustrating, and I get it. I completely get it. And, the blame game is always interesting, and I think as a longtime fan, I think my anger is even more because we've been down this road before. Like, I've been through all this shit already. The Darnold, the Sanchez, the Hackenberg, the Bryce Petty, the Geno Smith. I've seen it all. So when you see certain situations, you start to get worried, you start to mention it. And over the last 3 weeks, we tried to mention certain things that concerned us, but then we got, oh, you're a hater, you're just this, you're not getting it. Because winning is a great deodorant. I keep saying this over and over and over, but there are things that were concerning, but they got put aside because the Jets could run the ball, Breece Hall is doing a lot of good things, and the defense is playing lights out. Yesterday, and special teams have been very good too. Yesterday, special teams had a litany of problems. The defense made a couple mistakes, a bad penalty, and the offense was a mess. The coaching's question, the play calling's question, and it's like here we are again, back to more questions than answers, and it's frustrating as hell. And the one thing, I'll just answer a bunch of things that I got. This video I'm probably gonna ramble. I may come off really negative. I'm just pissed off. So the one thing is like, dude, we're 5-3. We're good. We were only supposed to win 7 games this year. Okay, so we're only supposed to win 7 games, and we're 5-3. So that means you're cool going 2-7? That's okay then? Got the 7 wins. We are good, man. That how it works? Here's how it works. As the season plays out, your expectations change. I can't even talk, but they change. So now you're in the mix, which is something we always wanted, but you have to maximize every opportunity in NFL because nothing is given to you. Nothing is assumed, and nothing carries over to the next year. You can win 9 games this year and win 4 next year. Nothing carries over. So you're in a spot right now where you're 5-2. You want to make a run of the playoff spot, and rightfully so. So a game like this is a setback, especially at home. A very winnable game. It's impossible to not be annoyed by it, and you can't just say they're a young team because this team has talent, and they gave the game away. They literally did. Between Zach, between all these different things, they gave it away. And it's like this was a turn-the-page game. This was your statement game. This was the team had you believe in it. We had to believe in it. And I'm eating humble pie today. For those of you that watch my videos, I predicted a win. I was pretty confident. I thought a different Jets team was going to show up, and they didn't. And when I say they, more than the quarterback. So now the blame game. So now who was at fault for the way Zach Wilson is playing? And the one thing I know is there's a lot of assumptions being made that I think are kind of haphazard and probably not the right thing to do. Because there's a lot of unknowns going past the quarterback. And that starts with the head coach. The head coach, he has never, as a head coach, coached up a young quarterback successfully and doesn't have it on his resume. He's a defensive-minded head coach. His defense is playing a lot better. His offense is struggling. We had the same problem last year, and it's the same thing this year. Does he know how to make adjustments? Does he know what he's seeing on film? Does he know how to nurture a young quarterback? Last year, they hired his coach. They had like 5 coaches for him last year, and they got John Beck in there. So we don't even know if Saleh knows what the fuck he's doing on offense. We have no idea. He could, he couldn't. He's not really holding people accountable. Like today, he goes out and says, you know what? Zach is my quarterback the rest of the year. Now, I understand that Saleh is a guy that will never put down his players in the media. He always protects them in the media, and then behind closed doors, we have no idea. Yesterday, I would have pulled him. 3 interceptions, reckless interceptions, inexcusable interceptions. At some point, you're like, you know what, kid? You got to sit down and figure it out. I don't care about the media backlash. I don't care about the fan backlash. You are hurting your team. These interceptions were reckless. So at some point, you say, you know what, you kid, you know what, you're on the hot seat, man. If you don't play better, we have no choice. Now, the moving up of Mike White is interesting because if you're a win now team, if you're winning now and you're in the hunt with this season on the line, who would you rather have play the game? Mike White or Joe Flacco? If you're playing, if you have a whatever game, say the Bears game, whatever game at the end of the season, Win and you're in. Would you rather have the veteran Joe Flacco or Mike White? Interesting choice there. So that's the first thing, the head coach. He has no resume to back on, so we don't know what he is in terms of a guy that can mold the quarterback. Second, the quarterback coach, right? The quarterback coach, Rob Calabrese. What exactly is on his resume to be a quarterback guru that we know he knows what he's doing in terms of developing Zach? What was he, a quality control coach? He's got nothing on his resume. So how do we know he knows what he's doing in terms of, Zach, you got to clean your footwork? I understand Kyle Reese was a quarterback, but we don't know what he is. We assume he's good. We assume he's doing the right thing. Mike LaFleur. What's on Mike LaFleur's resume? Passing game coordinator? How do we know what he knows what he's doing? We don't know. We don't know all these things. Do they know how to, when they're facing adversity on offense? For me, the scripted plays a lot of times don't make sense. The offense doesn't seem smooth. Nothing seems easy. You watch passing attacks all throughout the NFL. 3-step drop, get rid of the football. Have your safety valves. Have all these different things. Make things look easy. Nothing looks easy for the Jets, and it hasn't looked like that for 3 weeks other than their running game. And that's a problem because at some point, which we've talked about endless times, defenses are going to say the New York Jets are a defensive team, a special teams team. They want to run the ball, and they mix in the pass when they can. So what they're going to do is they're going to find ways to stop the run and dare Zach Wilson to throw. That's what's going to happen. And guess what? As a staff, you have to adjust. That's just, and I understand people say, oh, run the ball more, run the ball more. At some point, you got to keep people honest. But the offense as a whole doesn't make sense a lot of times. 3rd and 2, run the ball. They're passing it. They're running out. They don't use Zach Wilson's athletic ability. So right now, in terms of the unknowns, you have an unknown head coach in terms of developing an offense and nurturing and growing and developing a quarterback. The quarterback coach has no experience, and Mike LaFleur's got no experience. That's a lot of unknowns. And then you add in Zach, who right now is not playing well. He's getting, he can say, oh, my plays are boneheaded. The discounting mistakes or taking ownership for it is fine, but at some point you got to play better, man. And it's year 2. And the one thing I'm tired of hearing is, well, Josh Allen did this, and this guy did this. I don't give a shit what these other quarterbacks did, because for every Josh Allen, there's 35 quarterbacks that didn't make it. Oh, well, Josh Allen did this in year 2, but in year 3. Can we stop comparing Zach to the best quarterback in football? I mean, and it's just, there's so many examples that everybody wants to have hope. You want to believe in certain things, but it's not always like that. Like I said, for every Josh Allen, there's a zillion guys. Several of them played for the Jets that don't pan out. Let's stop doing that. So there's so many things we just don't understand. We don't know with this team in terms of the offensive side of the football. So it's safe. You can criticize Zach all you want, and I'm completely disappointed with him. I thought he should have been benched yesterday. But the play calling, and then it's what are they doing during the week to fix this? Because this has been going on for about 3 weeks now. What is it? Yesterday, that second interception, somebody should be on the bench, bro, you can't do that again. Stop throwing the ball like an idiot. You can't do this. Brian Daboll rips Daniel Jones. Now, every coach has their own way of handling things, but you've got to see, a different thing here where it's you've got to have a little sense of urgency. Listen, man, I know you're scrambling. I know you're doing all these things, but you've got to play smarter football now. Starting now. Another throw like that, another stupid play like that, you're out. That, at some point, tough love has to come in here. Now people are saying, oh, well, Zach's got to sit a while. Listen, first of all, he's already missed games. He missed games last year. What do you do? Every time he faces adversity, sit him? He's got to face the fire. Either you sink or swim time with him. Year 2, but you can't, when your team's playing like this and they're counting on you to make plays, you've got to mature and grow up and make those plays. Furthermore, I don't understand, in terms of just roster management, when you know that your offense potentially is going to struggle with, the confusing Belichick defense, all this, you had Chris Streveler active initially on your roster, then they made him inactive. And Saleh tried to explain, well, we had some things. Listen, man, your defense is tight. Your defense is going to play well. Streveler in the game. Now, I'm not saying you throw passes. You can run the Wildcat. You could bring him in. You can find different ways to run the football and offset the defense. You can find ways to be creative. You can add a lot more motion. Things are getting very predictable here. So it's I understand defense is at a premium, but then it's you got to find ways to do it. The other thing, Elijah Moore. If you're going to have him active, and he's easily one of your best receivers, fucking use him. If you don't want to use him, if you're just going to run him out there as a decoy or to give somebody a breather, then you're not really doing your job. Seriously, if you don't want to trade him and you're not going to use him, what are you doing with him? Seriously. You can't find ways to give him, when your offense is this bad, you can't find these slants, quick screens, nothing to get one of your best playmakers involved. So it's just not smart game planning. It's not smart management. Is it egos? Is it being stubborn? What is it? Like, to me, like, it's easy to say Zach Wilson sucked yesterday, and he did. He cost him the game. But so did a lot of other things. And I have concerns about how this team is handling the quarterback position. I just do. And until they prove me wrong, these questions are okay to ask. Like, I don't understand why it's like everybody, it has to be black and white. Zach is bad, the coaches are good. We don't know that. You know, the coaches aren't good, and Zach is good. You know, like, we don't really know. A lot of things can be true. They could all be bad for all we know. But I think it's just, I'm really, really frustrated about how this is going about. And it's becoming concerning because this is obviously by the end of this year, you want to know what Zach Wilson is. I think there's clearly enough talent on this team. You have Azuma, you have Conklin, you have the running backs. James Robinson is good. You have a plethora of receivers. Even when Corey Davis banged up, they're still fine. I'm sweating. I'm so mad. See this shit? But it's like I'm tired of excuses. Like, this coaching staff has to maximize their opportunity and figure out what they're doing. And I think to question them at every level is completely fine. So we'll see what happens. I understand now they're saying that George Fant and Max Mitchell are going to be out till after the bye. So I'm not sure the Jets make a trade for an offensive tackle. I'm not really sure what they do then. But if you know your offensive line is going to struggle, you adjust, you move things around. But, I mean, this right now, it's such a weird time because there was so much positivity surrounding this team. But there was this thing that there was going to be a moment when the Jets had to pass the football. And you knew that yesterday's game was on Zach Wilson. And as a team, as a staff, and as a player, they failed. They failed. I think LaFleur failed, Calabrese failed, Zach failed. They all failed because they're not doing their jobs. Because he does not look, he looks overwhelmed, he looks rattled, he looks reckless, he looks skittish. He just doesn't look like, he doesn't look comfortable in the offense. So for every splash play, like the 54-yard Garrett Wilson throw, there's the first interception where you're like, dude, what is that? Or the little screen plays that are impossible to complete. So we'll be live tonight and tomorrow night, and you guys can say other stuff. I had to get this off my chest because I'm so frustrated, and there's so many assumptions being made about this team. And the bottom line is we don't know anything. We don't know about this staff, and we don't know about this quarterback. And the Jets have played, 8 games? So you have another 9 games to figure it out, and hopefully you have more answers than questions.